Welcome everyone to the game between Praggnanandhaa and Sandipan Chanda, and there's a smile on Praggnanandha's face because he knows Sandipan very well. He himself has worked with him in the Westbridge Anand Chess Academy, and in fact Sandipan is the full-time trainer of his sister R. Vaishali. Not sure if they still work together, but definitely in the candidates 2024, Sandipan was the full-time trainer of Vaishali. So definitely a very close connection between Pragg and Sandipan, and it'll be interesting to see how the student and teacher face off against each other. A handshake here, and Praggnanandhaa opens the game with pawn to e4. This is the round 5 of the World Rapid Championships 2025, and Sandipan plays knight to c6. Knight comes to f3, giving an opportunity to go into e4, e5 territory. Sandipan takes it. Bishop c4. We have the Italian on the board and a sideline knight a5. Look at Pragg's reaction. He's like, what the hell is he playing? Knight e5 is a free pawn. But you know what? Sandipan has played this before. He's played it with Sindarov in Dubai Open 2023. Knight takes pawn. He takes here. Knight takes, and you are a pawn down completely. Pawn to d5. What's the upside that black has here if you think about it carefully? The upside that black has is open position with two bishops. Does that compensate for the missing pawn here? Is the big question. Well, perhaps it doesn't, but it also is an interesting weapon to be played in rapid chess, and you can see already he has 16 minutes on the clock while Pragg is down to 11 minutes. So in some ways this opening may have worked for Sandipan. Long castle here, and now knight to d2 played. So you're bringing your knight into the game, and queen moves to g6. Pragg brings his knight to f3, and we have pawn to f6, stopping the knight from jumping into the central square on e5. c4 played by Pragg, and h5 by Sandipan, gaining space on the queen side. King h1, knight comes out to h6. And now Praggnanandhaa plays his bishop to d2. We have knight to g4. So black is playing as if nothing's happened. He's not a pawn down. Pragg meanwhile starts expanding on the queen side, h4, with the idea of perhaps playing h3. And remember, you don't have a light squared bishop, so h3 might be a smart idea to play. He plays it. Pawn to h3, knight takes knight, and now bishop takes e3 taken. Do you take the pawn on b4? That would be too risky because there's a lot of attack that brews up on the b file. So pawn to d5 played. Pragg is not even concerned about the b pawn. g5. Sandipan is trying to open up things on the king side. A smart move. But Pragg now has a very interesting option at his disposal. Queen d4. He's going after the a7 pawn. Sandipan defends it. And now a4, a5 should be very powerful. But instead, Pragg goes bishop takes g5. He's tempted by this move because the rook in the corner is hanging. Takes, queen takes h8. And now bishop takes pawn. He takes the pawn on b4. The queen is attacked. Well, you could play bg7, but then queen h7 or even knight g5 attacking the queen would be very powerful. So bishop b4, and now Pragg can take on g5. He takes it. Knight g5, excellent move. If rook takes queen, you have knight f7. So queen f4. Now the queen is attacked. Also the knight is attacked. So you need to protect it, and the best move is queen h5. Right. And if you play bishop d6 trying to checkmate me, my knight will simply drop back. He plays bishop to c3, attacking the rook. here, but the rook can simply move away. Rook c1. Pragg is totally and completely winning. Bishop f6. And Pragg goes back, knight f3, rook to h8 played. So getting some coordination flowing, at least in the black pieces. Queen comes to g6 now. And Sandipan takes on h3, but that's not enough. Pragg has seen it. By the way, Pragg's time is the big problem. He's down to 30 seconds on the clock, while Sandipan has 5.5 minutes. He takes, queen takes f3, and now queen g2, coming back with his queen. Queen to a3 played, attacking the a2 pawn. And now c5, he's pushing forward, pawn to c5 on the board. Takes it. And isn't d6 super powerful, opening up the path of the queen here? This is just game over. Pragg is +6 now. He's completely winning. And he pushes on with d6. Well, if you take the pawn, queen c6 should be game over. So Sandipan brings his rook to d8. Now many different ways to win. You can go rook fe1, very strong move. Queen g4 played, rook blocks, and now just rook fd1, threatening to take, but he takes the pawn. King takes pawn, and maybe a check here. He goes rook b1. Pragg hesitating a bit, but also it's tough when you have just 14 seconds on the clock. You get like 10 seconds increment per move. That means you have to think in 10 seconds every single move. Rook b1, and he brings his queen back to a6. Queen to f3. And now the queen trade offered with queen c6, and you have to trade it. Suddenly Pragg is not totally winning here, because this c pawn is quite strong. Rook b8, now rook d3 to attack h3 and to swing over the rook. When in this format where you have less time, anything is possible, but a mistake here with c4, because in comes a check and you want to win this pawn. That's the point. He gives a check, he finds it. Rook c7 would be bad, because after take I have rook c1. So he goes king d5, and now rook d1 check. He goes rook c1 to attack this, c3, and now rook d1. You can't block with the bishop because rook takes pawn. So everything going as per plan. King e6, now just a check. King e7, keep the two rooks on the board. But instead he takes a bad move by Pragg. And he thinks he's winning. But the problem now is that the king, bishop and the pawn are too strong. White king is too far away. 18 seconds for Praggnanandhaa. He's unsure now. King g2. King to d5. Sandipan playing so calmly. Rook c8, a huge mistake. He should have played his rook to c7, so that later on in this line you have at least this check and the position is drawn here. Take and king d2. It's a draw. But after rook c8, king e4, there's no check that comes in here. Pragg down to last 3 seconds, plays his move, pawn drops, puts it back, king d3, threatening c2 and bishop c3. There's no check. Oh my goodness. Pragg goes king e1 and Sandipan goes c2. It's over. It's over. And look at Pragg's expression. What? He can't believe what he's just done. He's like, what the hell did I just do? Bishop c3 is going to completely block my rook. He resigns. And he's shocked. He's stunned there. He can't believe that he botched up that +6 position as Nihal walks by. Nihal also surprised. Sandipan calmly putting back his pieces. Pragg has absolutely nothing to say. I'm pretty sure that they would have discussed something in case the game had ended in a normal way. But Pragg there, generally, he's okay after a loss, but here it's too brutal. He was totally winning, and here Sandipan puts back all the pieces, and he knows that no words are going to comfort Pragg here. So he takes his glasses and sits there instead of getting up. He sits there with Pragg. What a beautiful moment. True sportsmanship there shown. And Pragg is just in his own world. He's in his own thoughts. He can't believe what has just happened. That's the brutal part of chess. It's super difficult even for a player like Pragg. All these years, ChessBase was a software that needed to be installed on your computer. But now, ChessBase has come up with a mobile app. It's called the ChessBase mobile app and it is available both on Android and iPhone. With the app, you can now prepare against an opponent. You can get access to more than 11 million games in your database. You can create a new game, analyze it. The premium users get access to the fastest cloud engines, and then you can save your analysis. What's more is that the app is completely free. If you want to stay connected to serious chess preparation on the go, then the ChessBase mobile app is for you.